Hey, IDS 301. Welcome to Module 2. It is Sunday, January 16th at about second quarter, no, third quarter, Tampa Philly game. Uh, I'm ready to go here on this one. Let's see if I can stop shaking this iPad. I want to move it back a little bit though. I don't know. Oh, my little guy is making an appearance. Anyways, okay, stop it. Change, put some dang reading glasses on here. I'm going to post a link to the Writing Center. It's ASU like tutoring writing center. It's available to all students, no matter where you are, and can be a benefit for you in any class for any reason dealing with academics. Um, Another small note: I do not ding you for late Easter eggs. So I put a due date on because my due dates have my due dates all count as due dates. The Easter egg one just is to lead you to that's the first thing, and I'm a believer in due dates to define and describe and show you the chronological order of the course. Without due dates, it's cats and dogs living together. I mean, it's like what George Carlin said. Mother Nature gave us the concept of time so that everything doesn't happen at once, right? Great. As you can see, I'm a timekeeper. People ask me about this. Okay, every class, whatever. I wear a Fitbit and Apple Watch 6. I've been wearing a Fitbit for years. I like this one. I like the way it records steps. I like the way it records sleep patterns. I like the way it records activity minutes. My uh, Apple Apple Watch. I like it for everything else. It's great talking on the phone and seeing my text, things like that. I found that the Fitbit was more accurate for me for steps than the iPhone and the Apple Watch was. I tested them by wearing them both in the same wrist and counting 500 steps on a walk and seeing which one was closest to 500 after that. So, in any event, on we go. So I don't do late Easter eggs. And then by that, again, I don't mean I'm not going to ding you. You can submit the Easter egg when you get to them. I get it. It's only 10 points, or I'm not dinging you for it. Just submit it. Uh, Also, by the way, put the course on the email. You have to put your course. I have 5 courses, like I said, this semester. It's the most I've ever had. Actually, 6 different courses for the entire semester. I've never done more than 2. So I could be frazzled. So put your course in there, even though you're my only IDS course. Okay. Um, okay, so I also am going to post a link for an ASU CISA's Counselor Training Center. Life can get complicated. We are here for you. ASU's Counselor Training Center is now offering low-cost weekly telehealth counseling for staff, students, faculty, and community members. I'm seriously thinking about doing this. Things get a little overwhelming at times or what have you, and it's good that you can just talk to others. It's part of the diversity, equity, inclusion, social justice site. I didn't know that. Okay. Um, Part of our CISA, some good stuff here. Okay. So I told you about that. The Dave Thomas document is due today. Uh, it's important because it delineates between the points of view of disciplinary points of view. So in disciplinary analysis. So again, there's what's called the disciplinary pyramid, which is linked here. I'm 99% positive because if it's not, somebody stole it from me. Let's see, because we did this. Where are my? Okay. Anyways, there's a disciplinary pyramid. It should be on here. I think Dave has it in his doc. Maybe that's why I took the attachment down. But Dave does a really good job. And even though it's disregarded for a BIS 343 organizational leadership, what have you, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing that we've been using forever here. And at the bottom, you'll have intradisciplinary cross-disciplinary, intra, which is a single disciplinary, looking at something through a single disciplinary. And I'm telling you, these are important because there's a quiz. And above that is cross-disciplinary, and he explains that real well in the doc, so I'm not getting through to it too much, but it's analyzing something from the point of view of one discipline, looking through another. So it's the mathematics of music is always a good example there. Multidisciplinary is next, and it is more than one discipline, multi. So you're looking at building a highway from the standpoint of economic impact, maybe the economics are looked at, and then the engineering aspect. Okay, that's multidisciplinary. Neither the twain shall meet. They just do their own thing. In interdisciplinary, it is more than one discipline, two or more, and they work to what? Remember, I had that word last week, integrate. Okay, so I'm sorry, my son just texted me 24-0. It's so good because I got a bet on Tampa. I'm giving 8.5. Anyways, that's not something we should talk about. So you look at the integration aspect. So you take the same thing about building a highway through something. You got economics. You could have the engineering aspect, but let's say you could also stability. It's not stability. It's environmental sustainability. Okay, and how they all interact and integrate all those, so that they're not just talking separately. That the sustainability aspects informs the engineering, which informs the economics. Okay, so integration, that's the difference. And above all that, you've got transdisciplinary. In this case, trans means to go beyond the disciplines, to focus on the problem and what does it take to solve it. Who does it take? Does it take stakeholders? Okay, if you want to solve, let's say, domestic terrorism, or any kind of terrorism, you might use, victims groups, you might use law enforcement groups, you might use chamber of commerce groups to help you analyze and solve the situation, besides disciplines like maybe, economics, religious studies, political science, you name it. Okay, so that's something that you need to look at and talk about in that submission. Now, let's do Easter egg number 1 right away, and let's call it disciplinary perspectives, because I'd like you to know those things. So the Easter eggs are typically like a meme-ish kind of things, right? Disciplinary perspectives, which is, intradisciplinary, intradisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary. You don't have to give me all those. You're going to write about it and think about those later, but just to have disciplinary perspectives, okay? So looking at Module 2 coming up this week, it starts, technically Monday and runs through Sunday. We've got to read the Tanner introduction. Really not difficult. Okay, it's like 6 pages. The last couple talk about the Texas Tech program, I believe, but I think it really helps to give you some insight. I'm going to try to get the book out of here without tipping my laptop over. And let you know that integrative studies is a curricular approach to integrative studies, to integrative learning and interdisciplinarity. So we talk about interdisciplinary and integrative as being interchangeable in many ways. The name of the book, the name of this course differ, but yet they're the same. And I've said that interdisciplinary equals integration. Integration equals interdisciplinary. Integration is more, to me, the process of what we're doing, okay? And interdisciplinary is the field, right? So it's a great article because it'll give you an idea of the history of this. It goes back farther than you might think, okay? And talks about different types of interdisciplinary studies programs, okay? Important point on page XIII, Super Bowl XIII. While I agree that this would be a near impossible feat to achieve, he's talking about full connectivity in a dynamic university, which seems out of reach, obviously. Integrative education does not purport to integrate all possible connections, okay? Rather, it is about making meaningful connections between intentional areas of study. So you're going to see that with your areas of study, they're intentional. And if you want to make intentional connections with those or any other ones, in this class, in IDS 301, IDS 302, in my classes, you are not constrained by your choices. So let's say you have dance and geology. Okay, you're going to find difficulty making meaningful connections there. Okay, so I'm not requiring that, but it's fine that you study that because you're also studying how to integrate. Okay, and this type of integration can be used anywhere in any problem in any environment, from entrepreneur to personal life to management skills and what have you. All right, so it's a very simple part. Like I said, we're just continuing the soft open, I guess, for part two. Integration on module two, the introduction. Okay, so going forward, okay, examine the websites. I have IDS 401 listed as a website to examine. However, if you were smart, you went through and you looked at all that IDS 401 stuff that I imported from the IDS 401 department. So, but that's something to definitely take a look at, consider as you plan going forward. And we'll get to that plan soon enough, all right? So the learning materials, the intro, examine the websites. You got the CISA website, which is kind of the big one. You got ASU, of course, and you got CISA. Then you got IDS. Then you got IDS core courses website, and then you got IDS 401. So it's kind of like a hierarchy of, it goes from micro to macro, right? Okay. Then you got a musical introduction. This is pretty darn easy. Please do it well, okay? You can number them. I don't care. I can figure out what you're trying to say on this one. Upload a pic if you want. Tell us about yourself, right? It's simple. Can't get anything wrong. Just do it. Respond thoughtfully to at least two of your classmates' posts, not just say, hey, cool, I like your post. See ya. Thoughtfully. That means full of thoughts, right? Yeah, that's an easy 40 points. Don't miss out on it because they're going to get harder to get later. All right, then we've got the plan of study. Let's see, is that how I want to do it? In what order? Musical intro is due the 21st. The plan of study is due the 22nd. And the question and answer essay is due the 23rd. 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Is there a quiz? I think there is, isn't there? Going back to look at the quiz. Module 2. No quiz. I'll be darned. Look at that. Huh. Oh no, quiz number 1 doesn't happen until module 3. Okay, so there are, like I said, 4 outliner papers in this class during this course. 1 is the plan of study. Number 2 would be MAPS 1. Number 3 would be MAPS 2. And number 4 would be your personal narrative. All of them are quite doable. I do not want you to procrastinate on them. As I said before, and I still am debating whether to split the due dates on the MAPS papers. Students inevitably, in too many cases, wait and look on their Canvas calendar and don't do anything until the due date. And then they scramble when it comes to the bigger stuff. And then they get mad at me. And then it shows up in my evaluation, and I get embarrassed by that. Okay, and I'm upset because I'm giving you the fair warning. You don't have to start on maps today, tomorrow, the next day. But you need to get going on your maps as soon as we introduce that type of thing. So take a look at the maps assignments, okay? Get an idea what you're going to be doing for your concentrations, okay? Start generally and work your way down and outline. Let me know if you have any questions. The maps is you're mapping out your concentrations. Concentrations and disciplines is a fairly interchangeable word. Okay, you chose 2 concentrations for this program. If you haven't yet, talk to your advisor. You need 2 concentrations. You're going to be mapping out each of them separately through 8 or 9 different criteria each, 2 separate papers. So if you have business, then it's this one. Actually, if you have business, you got to choose something else a little more narrow. So let's say you have business, but you want to look at accounting. Okay, look at accounting, and over here you want to talk about sustainability. So you have a whole different thing about sustainability. Don't have to worry about integration, just worry about mapping them. Okay. Do not procrastinate. I guarantee you won't like it and you'll get all mad at me. Okay, so let's talk about the last 2. First, let's do Easter egg number 2. It's an oldie but a goodie. IDS equals integration. again, I want that to be welded to your, or branded, I mean, per video. And I've got 2 videos to today. Okay, so let's look at the plan of study that's due on the 22nd. All right, uh, fairly straightforward. You're going to take a look at your DARS report. If you don't know where your DARS is, you should find it on your main page of my ASU. You can hold your, but you got to have your DARS. You got to see your DARS. Ideally, I've seen students copy and paste it in the paper, and that's great. Then I know it because I need to see evidence of your DARS. I've had students submit papers with all this information, and DARS never appears, and I ding them at least 10%. Like, why? I go, because you didn't show me evidence of your DARS by using the word DARS, okay, with the anagram, whatever you want to call it, right? So there's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Pretty simple. It's worth 65 points. We have a plan of study example, a sample there. That's between the sample and the instructions. You don't need a rubric. You got this, okay? And make sure it's Times New Roman 12-point font, double line spacing, paragraph indents, all black font. You can have the DARS if you want. There might be a colored pie chart in there. No line gaps except between sections, right? You got this. You got it. I don't need a fancy cover page. I don't need any cover page. I don't need an abstract, okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Let's take a quick look at this sample of a plan of study. And you can go ahead and pull that one up at home. Come on, open up. My Word app has gone to the, there it is. And it's a blank page. Come on, what's taking so long? There it is. Wow, this is so weird. It's taking so long. Plan of study. Okay, it looks good. It's got Times New Roman 12-point font. You can tell it looks good. Tell just they did it. They did a I think it was she did a personal plan of study as a running head. Okay, you can see where she has evidence of her DARS. You can see the courses she's talking about here, what the future plan is, and she should have graduated, I guess. And it looks really good. This is really a great job here. And it didn't require any citations, bibliography on this one. It's about yourself. You have to write it in an organized fashion. If your paper does not look like this sample, look like it in terms of, I can tell it's sections, it's paragraphs, it's a beautiful piece of work. If it doesn't look like that, then where are you coming up short? Because you'll get dinged for that, okay? So check it out, all right? It should be a good thing for you to do. I've had students comment that, wow, this has really been enlightening to do this. I can really see where I'm at, pull back the lens a little bit, which is exciting, okay? So that's the plan of study. And I think at this point, again, maps is coming up. Maybe we'll start looking at that in module 3 a little closer because I want to give you a chance to do a good job on that, all right? This is a good class, 2 sections, about 18 students altogether. I want you to know that you should continue to contact me if you have any questions, if you need anything, if you question anything. So the last Easter egg is contact your instructor, all right? Contact your instructor because I don't know if you don't ask me, right? That's about it. Enjoy your week. Stay healthy. Stay, on top of things. Let me know if there's any issues. And we're getting out of here under 20 minutes. Forks up. Peace.